talk about men leading. So, this topic is a sensitive topic because I know for me, my personal experience with submissiveness growing up, I visualize what is that flying around? See, I don't play with bugs. What is that? See, we don't do flies. What? You know what? I rebuke you distracting me from this video. Anyways, my experience with submissiveness, because everything I believe is learned behavior when you are a child in adolescence, a young adult, and until you become an adult on your own and you get to have your own identity, then you change your perspective on certain things. And that's what took place with me with submissiveness. For me growing up, as you guys know, I've said this a lot, and I'm sorry that I'm so repetitive, but I first grew up in a Baptist home, and then when I became a teenager, I went to live with my aunt, and my aunt was Pentecostal. So my dad is a minister, so I grew up in the church. I went to church all the time. I'm talking about Sunday morning, Sunday night, Saturday prayer morning, Friday night, youth meetings. Like, I was that girl on the church bus, always on a church bus, going to church bus. So my experience of submissiveness that was taught to me in the church growing up was that you listen to what your husband says. And when I was growing up, I was exposed to a lot of women who were housewives, and they were just submissive to their husbands. Whatever their husband said, they had really no opinion on their own. They just did what their husband said, rather if it was against a moral against their moral compass. That was my view of what I thought submissive was. Of course, as I got older, got into my own, I realized submissiveness has nothing to do with that. Actually, it doesn't make you weak, it makes you strong. I don't believe that being submissive takes away from your own opinion, takes away from your own value. It lessens your role in a relationship, in a partnership, in a marriage. I just don't believe that at all. In fact, I find submissiveness to bring you closer to your partner. I know for me, this was a very hard thing for me, even though somebody stole my content. We're not going to name no names. That person name may or may not start with the letter S, may or may not have dreads, and may or may not live in Atlanta. He kind of stole a little bit of my content, but that's okay. You know, stop sweating me, baby. Why you sweating me? Don't sweat. Anyways, so he kind of stole a little bit of my content that I was going to talk about this morning in his recent video, but I'm going to still talk about it. So, submissiveness for me was hard because growing up, I had this idea of, a man provides for you, and when a man provides for you, you have no control over anything. Like, when he provides to you, he calls the shots. So I grew up unconsciously until I got into unconsciously. I wasn't even aware of what I'm doing, so I'm going to emphasize unconsciously. Unconsciously, I was picking men that I was more successful than, that I was smarter than, that I made more money than, that I could negotiate better than. And I didn't even realize I was doing this. I didn't even realize that I was doing this until I went to therapy and I started to connect the dots from my childhood. So I realized that the reason why I was picking these men was because I didn't want to release control. If I released control, I felt weak, you know? So that's why when I finally met the man that God had for me, I had to do a lot of work on myself because this was the first time that I was introduced to vulnerability. This was the first time that I knew what connection was. This was the first time in my entire life that I was in love. So vulnerability, submissiveness and vulnerability goes hand in hand. It may sound weak, but it really isn't weak. So I have found when you allow, I can't pray for a man. I can't pray to God to send me the man of my dreams. Send me a man with leadership skills. And then when he takes the reign of leadership, I go against the reign. I go against him leading. It doesn't work that way. I have found this. If your man say he got this, let it go. Let him do his thing. And then most of the conversations that I have with women are like, in the past, not recently, but in the past, it's like, well, what if they mess up? What if they screw up? So I'm going to give you an example of of my failed marriage, and clearly this is one of the reasons why my marriage fell outside of the physical abuse in the marriage. So as you guys know, I told you I had a rental property. So I was pregnant with my first son, and for you guys that don't know, my first son passed away. It wasn't a miscarriage. It wasn't. I literally birthed my child, and my child passed away. Maybe one day I will do a video about that. So and my child had just passed away, and my ex-husband at the time, came to me and said he wanted to buy rental property. And I didn't want to do it at the time because I was going through postpartum depression. I had just lost my child, and buying property was the last thing on my mind. And I refused to do it because he couldn't do it with me. He couldn't do it without me. He had to have my signature. This is not to make him look bad or anything. This is just a story. But he couldn't purchase the property without me. He just couldn't do it. So he needed my support. And I just didn't want to do it. I was like, I don't want the property. I don't like the property. I don't like the state it's in. I don't want it. And he just like, this is my dream. This is what I want to do. And I was like, well, I don't believe in it. So I'm telling you this is because when he actually failed and the property went into foreclosure, I was like, see, I told you this was not a good idea. I said all of that to say this. I'm a complete different person now. I understand that's not how you talk to men. First of all, a man needs to feel like he's safe with you, even in his mistakes. So in a situation like this, when a man clearly made a bad investment, first of all, you encourage him, you support him. And let's say the investment does fail. The way you handle a man after he clearly fails is going to play a huge, huge significant impact in your marriage. So for instance, if a man failed, you don't tell him, I told you so, because now he doesn't trust you. Now he'll never come to you about any ideas that he has. Good. He won't come to you when he has good ideas. He won't come to you with good things because you demasculated him. When he's vulnerable and he's talking to you about his failure, you put him down. So now he's definitely not going to talk to you. You're definitely not going to be his best friend. You're definitely not going to be the person he goes to. So I believe in this word called we. So when something like that happens, don't make it seem like it's just him. That it's a unit. It's you and him against the world. So when your spouse or your significant other fails and he does something that didn't go too well, say, babe, we are going to make it through it. You're not the one that made a decision. This was all him, but we're still going to say we because technically it is we. So, babe, we're going to make it through it. You know what? You had a good idea. It didn't go well, babe. So we have to learn from this. I'm so proud of you for taking chances. Let's just write down or talk about things we'll do different next time. I'm proud of you, babe. Don't worry about it. Next time we'll get it right. Or whatever the situation is, you speak life into your man. When you speak life into him, then now he feels like, okay, I can talk to my wife about anything. She is not going to put me down when I fail. And also too, when he does hit the ball out the park, which he will, and he does a phenomenal job in leading the household, phenomenal job in with the kids, phenomenal jobs with helping around the house, phenomenal job with being a provider. You want to praise that too. And I know we live in an era of independent women, boss ladies, CEOs, and I get it. And trust me, there's nothing wrong with that. I am there. I'm trying to rise above the grade and get into that higher level to be that as well. So I don't have anything against being independent, but I have a problem when people don't understand how important interdependency is and how important stroking your man ego is. It's so important because men need that. They're built different than us. We don't need I compliments are great, but the main thing was me. I need to feel safe with my man. I need to feel loyal, and I'm not just talking about loyalty with fidelity. That's important too, of course. But what I'm saying is loyalty. Like, you have my back. Like, you're my friend. Like, I trust you. And safety with women, we want to feel safe with you. So it's the same way safety, and I need you to be a provider. I don't care if you make more money. What the heck is going on? This fly, listen. I don't care how much money you make. You still need a man to be a provider. And it's important that we stroke his ego when he knocks the ball out of the park. We let him know you did a phenomenal job. Blow his head up. I have this theory. Your man should not walk out the house and be flabbergasted by any comment he received from the opposite sex. When he walks out the house and he gets women, which he will, if you have a put together man, you know, if you have a put together man and he's out there, trust me, he's gonna have women walk. Oh my God, you're phenomenal. You're this, you're that. I have never, like, no compliment should be like, wow. He should get that at home. He should get that with you. Okay, he should get, his ego should be, you should stoke his ego to the point where there's no compliment someone outside the house can give that you have not already given. And I know some people have a hard time with that, but it's like nobody should be celebrating your partner more than you celebrate your partner. Nobody should know your partner's work more than you know your partner's work. It makes no sense. I remember I went to an event, what is it called? Eventbrite? What's that thing called? Ebright? I don't know. I can't remember. You guys know what I'm talking about. That the app where you go to events. I signed up for an event and I went to an all-black entrepreneur event, and I was talking to this lady, and her husband was on my right, she was on my left, and then they were both telling me what they do, and her husband walked away. I was like, what does your husband do? She's like, he write books. And I was like, well, what type of books does he write? She's like, honestly, I don't get into that. And I don't know, I remember thinking, you don't get into it. And then right next to her husband, Becky, literally Becky, was sitting, oh my God, I read your book. It was so awesome. Can you sign it for me? Oh my God, on page 57, da 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 da. And she was sitting there salty. Don't sit there salty because you just told me you don't know what he does. You should be reading that book. So when Becky compliments him, her husband face just bright up. You can tell he don't get much compliments at home. He was like, really? Thank you so much. And she over there on my left, salty, jealous. Don't be jealous, mama. You didn't give him the compliments. No man should walk out the house and feel like he's treated better outside the house versus inside the home. And that's part of letting a man lead. To be honest with you, I'm going to tell y'all a little secret. Don't tell them this though. Even though they're leading, we're really the ones leading, okay? We're really the ones leading. Behind every strong man is a strong woman. At the end of the day, they're leading up front, but we're really the ones leading. Allowing them to lead is us leading. We're really the ones, technically, we're really the ones calling the shots. They just don't know it. They just don't know it. We call the shots. Okay? I'm going to create a Facebook group, and we're going to talk about this on a DL just for women. I'm going to tell y'all the secrets of letting a man lead, and you're leading from the back. He's leading from the front. You're leading from the back. He's leading from the front. Hey. But anyways, I just wanted to come on here and tell you guys there's nothing wrong with letting him lead. It doesn't make you weak. In fact, it makes you stronger. It makes your marriage, your partnership, your relationship much, much stronger. Child, I wear pants, but I have no desire to lead, honey. I'm over that. I'm Miss Independent. No, you can lead, baby. Lead me, baby. Where you want me to go, baby? Lead me. Lead me. Okay? I am over that. I am over it. I am lead me, baby. Lead me. Anyways, guys, hope you guys have a nice day. Hope this video was informative, and I hope it helped at least one person to understand that submissiveness doesn't make you weak. It really doesn't. It's okay to let him lead. It doesn't mean that you don't have an opinion. It doesn't mean that you're going to be in the kitchen barefoot and pregnant. It doesn't mean that you don't count. Actually, it does mean that you count. Have a nice day.